Hello, and welcome back to this year's last episode of Night Vision. I'm Samantha.
And I'm Jack. Let's get straight into this week's news stories. This Wednesday, candidates running for Class of 2027 Class Council will be giving their speeches in the auditorium during Period 9. At 3:20, freshmen will be called down to listen to the speeches and make their choices for next year's student government. Fall play auditions are today after school from 4:30 to 6:30 in Room 7, Miss Perot's room. The play will be Pericles by Shakespeare. The audition will consist of reading a monologue from the play, both in a group and on your own. Be sure to check your email to make sure you filled out all the necessary forms and contracts before auditioning. Good luck! Due to unfortunate manufacturing and shipping delays, the 2023-2024 yearbooks will be arriving later than expected and are predicted to ship in the week of June 16th to the 22nd. Seniors will still be having their senior yearbook luncheon tomorrow, despite the circumstances. The school was given signature page inserts, which students can use to sign and share messages with classmates. Students can read the full message on Outlook, but it is important to note that this delay is the result of issues at the yearbook printing company and not the students and staff who put valuable time, hard work, and effort into making our yearbook. Senior Awards Night will be held Thursday evening in the auditorium. Seniors who will be receiving awards were previously sent an invitation to the event, and recipients are welcome to bring friends and family to celebrate their accomplishments. The event will start at 7, but invited students are asked to arrive at 6:30 for seating procedures. Congratulations to all the Senior Awards recipients.
Last November, BCA's very own math team took a trip to South Korea for the 2023 World Math Team Championship. Here with us to talk more about their experience is Joy Ren and Krish Remkumar. Before we get into the interview, let's take a look at a quick video of your trip to Korea.
길고 깊어졌네. 나는 점점 너로 잠 못 들게 돼. 글로 적어내긴 어려운 이 기분을 너도 느꼈으면 좋겠는데. 너는 아무 생각 없이 몇 번 나를 지나가며 웃은 거라지만 요즘 노래 뭔가 맘에 안 들어. 내게 불러주기엔 좀 어려워서 나름 며칠 밤을 새워 연습했지만 내게 들려주기엔 무리인 것 같아. 너는 번질수록 진해져가고 나의 밤은 좀 더 길고 외롭지만 감추지 못해 내일은 말을 걸어봐야지.
Hi, Joy and Krish. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Could you first tell us a little bit about the competition in South Korea, including what it was like preparing for it and what exactly you guys were competing for?
Yeah, sure. We're the BCA math team, and last November we were very grateful to be able to send 4 teams, 24 students, to South Korea for a week. It was both a cultural experience and also a math competition itself. We got to interact with the teams from other countries and also visit many nice cultural sites in Korea and experience Korean cultures and food.
With regard to preparing for the competition, we did a lot of kind of preparation in the hotel rooms itself, working through the relay problems and kind of reading through the specific style of problems, as this is an international competition and some of the translations of problems were a little bit different than what we were used to.
And were there any challenges that came with this competition, and how were you guys able to overcome them?
I think the biggest challenge is adjusting to the new flavor and style of questions in Korea. After all, it's an international competition, so the problems are slightly different from what we are used to here in America. but we are BCA math team. We meet every Saturday, so we're very familiar with each other as well, and we've done multiple practices already. So doing the competition itself, it wasn't too big of a challenge. It was more so of adjusting to a new environment and the new rules and styles of the Korean competition.
And how do you feel being able to have the honor to represent the United States as well as give a speech at the competition?
I'd honestly argue that was the most exciting part. Joy and I were reached out to by Dr. Abramson, and he basically offered the opportunity to kind of speak in front of the entire competition in all of the countries at the awards ceremony and just give our thoughts on the trip. And it was a very exciting time. It was very, very nerve-wracking, like speaking in front of hundreds and hundreds of people. I remember Joy and I would prepare the speech on every bus ride, basically, just trying to memorize it and get it down. And actually delivering the speech was so, so satisfying.
Yeah, and for me, it's one of my first public speaking experiences, especially at such a large scale. I've never really done anything like that, so I'm very grateful that Krish was there with me. And doing it together, actually being on stage, I was surprised it wasn't that nerve-wracking because we practiced a lot, and it was just very nice and a huge honor to be able to speak to so many people.
And what were some activities that you guys got to do while in Korea?
We went to many different cultural places. We got to look at Korean dances, their palaces, and I think for me, I really appreciated the small moments, like sometimes just simply on the bus ride, for example. Going to the trip, we shared the bus ride with the Indian team, and I remember they were passing around tepla, so I never got to try that before. So like trying their food and talking with them, it was really nice. And there's also like the gift exchange, being able to see what people like in their country and sharing our gifts and talking with all the students. Like small moments like those were really valuable to me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed kind of the small and big things of this trip. I remember we sat in a circle and just kind of played like icebreaker games and card games, and it was really nice to meet kind of people from all across the world. And some of the larger activities that we did, we visited the Gyeongbokgung Palace, which was very huge and very exciting to go through. And we also saw the Seoul National Museum, which had an exhibit on Hangul that a lot of the BCA math team members really appreciated.
And what were your guys' favorite parts or memories from the trip?
I think for me, just talking with all the students. And I remember because we all go to the same hotel, and whether it's like breakfast or dinner, we sometimes see the other teams, and especially the Australian team. We got to know them a little bit better, especially through dinner. So just like chatting with them, looking at their traditions. And I remember they were really excited to hear that we had prom as well, and to see what their prom was like, and just talking about how our schools are different, our interests are different. So it was really nice to be able to talk with students from other countries and see what their like lives are, what their homes are like.
For me, I like the competition itself, not for like the problems, but basically like after every kind of round they reveal the answers, and it was just that kind of shared like roar and excitement about math, and just that communal discussion. Like people who had no idea, who had not even met before, would just go up to one another and start discussing, hey, what'd you get for this problem, and like how did you approach it? And I just thought that was very beautiful.
And what was it like being able to interact with students from all over the world?
I think our team, it was kind of exciting because like we met a lot of people from Australia, Bulgaria, Singapore, and Korea, and we were able to actually start a lot of competitions because they were also here for a while. So sometimes we would spot these teams just kind of when we were out touring Korea. So it was very nice to see and kind of catch up and just share all of the new information that we've taken in about this beautiful place.
And what advice would you guys like to give to students who are thinking about possibly joining the math team or participating in future competitions?
Yeah. I think the math team is a great place where you can really find community. For me, some of my closest friends I've met through math team or math class or doing math together. So for me, it's not simply just the math component of it, but being able to find someone who you share a passion with, or just simply enjoying time together. And with trips like the Korea trip or our other trips like to like Princeton or Armel, you really get to go on many trips together and kind of like open your perspective, meet a lot of new people from different places. So I think it's very exciting, both in terms of math and also just the community itself.
I think my biggest piece of advice to anyone kind of interested in math or joining in the math team is that there is no such thing as a math person, and that the skill level that you are at today is very, very different from the skill level that you could be at a month from now or 2 months from now. So through dedicated practice, you can really change where you are at mathematically, and there's kind of no issue of being fixed at where you currently are at.
Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
This Friday, June 14th, is the last day of Trimester 3 and Semester 2. Soon after this date, all grades for the year will be finalized. After this point, we will have no more full days of school, with June 17th through the 24th consisting of half days. Next Monday, June 17th, is Field Day. Students can sign up for events such as Tug of War, Math Mania, and the annual Battle of the Bands on Dashboard. And sign-ups are open until Thursday the 13th at 10 a.m. On Field Day, make sure to come to school wearing your team's color. On the 18th, juniors will be leaving for CEE, or the College Exploration Experience Program at Lehigh University. CEE is a unique opportunity here at BCA for juniors to meet with experts and professionals in college administration, college admissions, to receive insider advice and personalized guidance on their college application, essays, resumes, and more. On Thursday, June 20th, seniors have graduation rehearsal from 9:45 to 3. This is a full-day rehearsal with downtime, so students should bring laptops, yearbook signature sheets, or other activities to pass the time. There is another half-day rehearsal on June 24th, the day of graduation, from 10 a.m. to noon. Later that day, seniors should be on campus in the upper cafeteria at 5:45 in preparation for graduation at 7. Make sure to read Ms. Perot's in-depth email for the rest of graduation rehearsals, details, and congratulations to all of our graduating students.
There have been very few students who graduated BCA a year early, and here with us today is Marvin Mao, a junior who will be leaving BCA to pursue a bachelor's degree at MIT. Marvin also participates in the Mathematical and Linguistic Olympiads and is here to talk a bit more about what that's like. Hi Marvin, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you first tell us, for those who are not aware, can you explain what the Mathematical and Linguistic Olympiads are and how they work when you are the one competing in them?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So essentially, I would say the most important thing about the Mathematical Olympiad compared to other math tests or contests that you might have seen before is that it's a very slow competition. Like the most common format is that it occurs over 2 days. On each day, you have 4.5 hours to solve just 3 problems. So you can imagine, on average, you get 90 minutes per problem. So it's not like you can just blitz through these. These problems, they require you to write proofs or justifications in order to get full credit. So for example, a problem might discuss like a geometric configuration, like you have this triangle and then a bunch of circles and lines and stuff, and you have to prove some fact about it. And you have to make sure that all your steps are formal when you write them down. And as for linguistics, it's sort of similar in that it's like sort of a test that you write down. But the way that linguistic problem works is that usually they give you a bunch of examples in a language that's usually pretty obscure that like people wouldn't have known before, and you have to notice patterns in how that language works and notice things to sort of maybe do your own translation, stuff like that. So an example might be in English, usually you use subject, verb, object, word order, like you would say I see you. But in French, if the object is a pronoun, you could put that before the verb, so you say je te vois, or literally I, you, see.
And when did you initially hear about the Mathematical and Linguistic Olympiads?
Yeah, so more generally, I've done math competitions for a long time because my sister, who's 5 years older than me, she actually came to math team like when she was in middle and high school. So I sort of learned about math competitions from there, and that's when I've sort of like trying to get better at math. And as for linguistics Olympiads, I would say, I'm not really sure, but I would say one of the first places where I heard about them was from a summer program I went to called Canada USA Math Camp, where they also had a bunch of people who are interested in linguistics, making their own languages, that type of stuff.
And how did you prepare for these two competitions?
Usually the most important thing that people do to prepare is to practice previous problems. Like for example, before the national round of the Linguistics Olympiad this year, I just did a few of the invitational rounds from previous years. And there are also other ways to do this. Like a lot of people, like past competitors, have uploaded problem sets to the internet where they're focused on a specific topic if you want to get better at that. And also if you do well enough at the national level, you'll get invited to sort of training camps where they'll teach you classes and sort of explain more techniques to you.
And how do you manage to balance both the workload here at BCA and the immense amount of studying that you put into these 2 Olympiads?
I would say that mostly this, at one time I usually just focus on one thing. Like I sort of mentioned prior to the Linguistics Olympiad, like I focused my studying on like the week before, which is probably not advisable, but I've also had just like background knowledge about math and linguistics in the past. Like I've watched YouTube videos and just had a passing interest, so it's never really been that much time for me compared to other things. And other people at BCA, they also do spend a lot of time practicing sports or instruments, and it's sort of similar to that in terms of time commitment, I would say.
And what are your emotions like knowing this is your final year here at BCA and you're going to be going to MIT in the fall? Is there anything you're going to miss most from your time at BCA, and what are you most excited about heading into this new chapter of your life?
Yeah, like you sort of implied, my emotions are kind of mixed because to some extent, I'm excited to sort of have more freedom when I go to college, be able to pursue some of my interests, perhaps. And but at BCA, I also miss the people who I've gotten to know over the years, like the math team captains mentioned earlier. I'm going to miss a lot of the math team trips, like the math team trips where you sort of get to know, where you sort of get to know people more, and just those types of events that I'll sort of miss hanging out with the friends I've made.
Well, on behalf of the entire crew here at Night Vision, we wanted to wish you congratulations. This is an incredible accomplishment, and we wanted to give you a small gift to celebrate.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
We're still at it.
Since this is our last episode of Night Vision for the year, we wanted to recognize the work that goes into the show, both on and off screen. Behind each week's show is a team of students who write the script, communicate with guests, edit segments, and so much more. In order to keep the show going next year, we need you, our viewers, and we need new voices and contributors to continue making Night Vision happen. If you're interested in becoming a member of the Night Vision team, please reach out to Mr. Lang at slang@bergen.org. That's SLANG @bergen.org to sign up. And now, for the last time in the 2023-2024 school year, this has been Night Vision, your go-to television show for BCA news, highlights, and more. I'm Jack.
And I'm Samantha. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time here on Night Vision.